So in this video, we are going to see about what is the use of function pointer. So we know that any function is going to be stored in a memory location, and function pointer will hold the starting address of the memory location where the function is stored. So we are going to see how do we create a function pointer and why do we actually need it. So as we saw in the first video, function pointers can be used when you want to choose a function dynamically. Okay, so if some condition is true, I wanted to use this function. Otherwise, I want to use some other function. No, some condition where you want to choose a function dynamically. Okay, so in those cases, we can go for function pointer. Okay, so now we are going to write a very simple program where we'll have two functions. One function is to add two numbers and return the sum. Another function is to subtract two numbers and return the difference. So please remember the function pointer when I'm going to create, you will give the return type of the function it's going to point to and also the parameters the function will accept. So the function pointer can be used for different functions if the functions are having the same return type and also the same type of parameters and same number of parameters. Okay, so first, as we all know, let us write two simple functions, one to find the sum of two numbers, another to find the difference between the two numbers. So I'm going to have a int return type and say my function name is going to be function add, which will have two arguments x and y. So this function is going to return x plus y. Fine. Okay. Now I'm going to add another function subtract, which again has the two integer arguments. Please understand here I'm having the same return type and the same arguments. And I'm going to return x minus y. Right. So these are two simple functions we have here. Okay. So now let me write the main where I'm going to define a function pointer. So my function pointer is going to point to either of these functions. Okay. So you can see here both these functions have the same return type integer, right? And it has same parameter type 2 ints. Here also it is 2 ints. So first let me declare a function parameter. The first one I'll specify the return type. And after that, within brackets, I should specify the function pointer name. Okay, here let me write it as asterisk fn. And after that, I'll have to specify the data type of the parameters this function is going to point to. Okay, so you can understand this fn is a function pointer, right, which can point to functions which has an integer return type and two integer parameters. Fine. So keeping this in mind. So now I'm going to make this function fn, function pointer, hold the starting address of the function add. Okay. So what is it going to do? So this statement is going to, this fn will be holding the starting address of this function in the memory location. Now, I'm going to just call this function using this fn. So, fn add called. So, I'm going to get the returned result. Okay. Then, a new line, comma. Let me call the function, use the function pointer here where I'm going to pass 1, 2. Okay. So now this function is pointing to fn add. Okay. So I'm calling fn add now. Now let me make this function point to fn subtract. Okay. So now this statement fn is pointing to the starting address of the function fn sub. Now when I'm trying to print it, fn sub called. Again, I want to print the returned value fn of 1 comma 2. Okay, so this here in this case, this will call fn sub, because in the previous line you can see here fn is pointing to fn sub. This is what we call, this is what the basic use of your function pointer. So the function pointer can choose the function dynamically during runtime. The only rule is the function pointer can point to a function which has the same return type as it is specified here, int, and the same type and the number of arguments. Now let me run this program. So you can see here, it starts with main. Okay, yeah. The error here is I have not included stdio.h. So let me include stdio.h. Yes. So you can see here, it starts with main. Now you declared a function pointer. This function pointer can point to a function which has a return type of integer and which has two int type as arguments. Okay. So that means your fn pointer can point to both this fn add and fn subtract, because the return type and the type of the arguments and the number of arguments are similar. So the first time I'm trying to point this fn to fn add. Now fn of 1 comma 2 will call fn add. Then I'm making this fn hold the address of fn sub. Then this fn is calling fn sub because it's right now holding the address of fn sub. So it's calling your fn sub. So this is how your function pointer works. So I can also give ampersand here, or just function add. Both means the same, very similar to your array. Array name means the base address. Similarly, function name means the starting address of the memory location where this function is stored. Thank you, and I'm sure you have understood it.